Hello, it's Nancy Parker here, and I was wondering if you've ever suffered from constipation, or you feel like you have poor posture, or perhaps you feel a general sense of anxiousness throughout your day, or overwhelm, or maybe you're one of many of us who carry a little bit of stress and tension in our neck. Well, I'm here today to offer you one quick, user-friendly tip that can help to shift and to support all of those things we just discussed, and that is the breath. Most of us actually breathe incorrectly. We call it an inverted breathing pattern, where we tend to breathe mostly into the top of our lungs, our chest and our shoulders, and not down into the lower lobes of our lungs using our diaphragm. So we use our secondary respiratory muscles, our backup muscles, which are in our neck and shoulders, and we never actually allow the diaphragm to do its job of ascending to push the air out and descending to pull the air in. And there's several factors that affect this. But when we are breathing up into our neck and shoulders, we're stimulating the stress side of our nervous system, the fight or flight side of our nervous system, which makes us constantly think we're being chased by a tiger, or maybe it's a more low-level stress and we're being chased by a bunch of little chihuahuas these days. And one of them could be called your job, or the deadlines, or your children, or traffic, or your family, or whatever it is. So those little low-level stressors that are just a part of everyday life can tend to throw us into that fight or flight state. And the good news is we can be at choice for switching our nervous system back into the rest, repair, and digest side of the nervous system, called the parasympathetic nervous system. So how do we do that? Well, let's start with figuring out where you're at right now. So what I invite you to do is sit in your seat, place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and begin to breathe. Could be helpful to close your eyes, although if you would like to see the video, just keep your eyes open. When you breathe, notice which hand moves first. Which hand moves most? Is it the hand on your belly, or is it the hand on your chest? Most of us will notice perhaps that the hand on the chest moves first, or maybe it's the only hand that's moving, and there's very little happening down into the belly. So just by your intention and placing your hands on your belly, you can invite the breath to move lower into your body. With each inhale, imagining that you're filling up a balloon with air, and with each exhale, the balloon empties and deflates. So it's important, in order to get this to happen, that you're actually sitting up tall. Because as I said in the beginning, poor posture, if you have poor posture, you're actually compressing your diaphragm, which lives here, and it can no longer do its ascension and descending to help the air come in and out. The diaphragm is your muscle of inspiration. Okay? So you want to make sure you're sitting up tall, so that now as you breathe, you can breathe and fill up the torso, the container of the torso, with each breath in and each breath out. And we actually breathe in 4 directions: front, back, side to side. So we're really, truly filling up the container of the torso. What you want to watch out for is using your whole body to do that breath. While that does feel good, and it's a lovely spinal articulation exercise, you don't necessarily want to have to do that every time you're trying to breathe into your belly. You don't want to train your body to do that in order just to get the air to expand into the torso. So if that doesn't work for you, you can always try lying down and propping your feet up on some pillows or a chair or the edge of the couch, because most of us, when we're upright in gravity, we associate that with stress. Not consciously, but our subconscious does. And maybe gravity itself is a stress because we've had pain or injuries to our body. So most of us, when we lie down, we'll switch back to that natural breath pattern, because it's what we do when we sleep. And our body is programmed, our subconscious is automatically programmed, so we can use that to help us reset this inverted breathing pattern, but we have to intentionally take it back up into seated. So I like to tell people, whenever you're sitting at a red light, to just put your hands on your belly, and instead of stressing out about getting there on time, just belly breathe instead. So I hope you found this tip helpful. And if you still have any questions or comments, you can feel free to contact me at balancedwell.com. If you're still having some challenges in any of those areas that I mentioned at the start of this video, sometimes it's not always just as simple as the breath. If you need a little more support, I'm here to help. Please reach out. Have a beautiful day.